Now, Africa is flush with budding entrepreneurs. Despite the many challenges of facing these startup companies, Erick Alexander wants to make that journey easier. He is a Haitian-born businessman with 30 years of experience as an entrepreneur. Alexander is CEO of Money Physicians, a US-based crowdfunding website that helps companies raise capital to jumpstart their dreams and their business. He recently sat down with Africa 54's Alexis Christoforos to talk about what it takes to be an entrepreneur in Africa.
Erick Alexander, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
Erick, Africa's entrepreneurial spirit is alive and thriving. In fact, there was a new survey recently that showed sub-Saharan Africa leads the world rankings in entrepreneurial startup activity. What regions in particular are leading that entrepreneurial spirit?
Well, I know for sure that Nigeria, for example, have a huge intake in entrepreneurship on almost all sectors, but more importantly into the healthcare sector.
So we're seeing a lot of people with startups in the healthcare sector.
Right, because that's where most of the opportunities are right now, where the growth is needed. And there's a push toward universal healthcare. So that is driving a lot of the investment in entrepreneurship in that particular region.
We know that it's not easy to have a startup really wherever you come from, but in Africa in particular, there are lots of challenges. We have little government support, bureaucracy, lack of financing. So why do you think there is this entrepreneurial spirit, and how can people combat some of those challenges?
Well, the thing that entrepreneur will need the most is problems, right? Because without problems, it doesn't make sense to even start a business, because basically the reason you're starting is because you are solving some problems. Mm-hmm. So the more problems, the more opportunity. And that's why you see, as tremendous how the problems are in Africa, you're going to see even more entrepreneurs coming in and tackling those particular issues.
Coming from your perspective, mm-hmm. as a person who actually runs a crowdfunding site, mm-hmm. what is some of your advice to these startups, people who are looking for funding?
Well, I'll say the most important thing is not to focus solely on the money, because you're going to need mentorship. It's going to be very important. My formula for investment, for example, for investing is, I call it MQ. Cube is money, marketing, and management. All those three has to come together mm-hmm. to create success.
We're seeing that women, too, are a driving force behind entrepreneurship in Africa. Why do you think that is?
Well, women have always played a very important role in in Africa, in the family in general. But now more than ever, because of what entrepreneurship means, meaning that you're solving problems, they're able to have a greater say in terms of what's going on, and they have decided that they're going to take leadership and create and innovate on a social way to do that.
And would you agree that entrepreneurship is really the way out of poverty for Africa?
Well, and let me explain to you why. Every time an entrepreneur comes up with an idea, he has to create a team, and that's job creation automatically. All right? Job creation, one of the things that he does, he takes on the pressure of government, okay, enable them to do better planning, because they don't have people pointing at them as much, right? So give the leaders a little bit of more time, more space to be able to do some greater thing for the country.
Well, Erick Alexander, CEO of Money Physicians, we look forward to speaking to you again when you're actually in Africa doing business with your crowdfunding site. So thank you so much for your insights.
I'm looking forward to it as well.
And I'm Alexis Christoforos for VOA News, Africa 54.